Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I am sharing a meal prep video with you guys. I asked in my last video if you guys would be interested in seeing that, so I got a couple people who were interested, and so I'm going to go ahead and share what I'm doing this weekend to help prepare for our meals next week. I don't really plan out every single dinner and prep every single meal like that, but I am going to make a few easy lunches, breakfast, and snacks, mostly for my kids, just to help us get through the week a lot easier. I find that when I have more options for them that they can make themselves, it just makes the day go by so much smoother. So today we're going to be making some pizza rolls. We're gonna make some oatmeal breakfast bars, some cereal bars, egg cups, and some hummus, some vegan potato cheese sauce, and a few other things. And I'm also going to cut up and prep some veggies that I'm going to be using in meals next week so that they're all ready to go and I don't have to cut them up throughout the week. I already got up this morning and prepped the potato cheese sauce, and so all the veggies I threw them in the Instant Pot, so I'll go ahead and insert that clip here. Alright, it's first thing in the morning, and the first recipe that I am doing today is a potato vegan cheese sauce. So I will go ahead and leave the recipe linked down below in the description, but I just started by cutting up all of my vegetables. They have to go into the Instant Pot for a little bit, so I did this right when I woke up so that it could go ahead and cook while I got myself ready for the day. And that's a good tip for you guys if you know that you're going to have something sitting in the crock pot or Instant Pot to cook a little while, then go ahead and do that first thing so it can be ready when you're ready to finish all your meal prep. But I just threw that in the Instant Pot with some water and put the lid on, made sure I set it to sealing, and I believe I cooked this for 10 minutes. Yeah, 10 minutes. I did that first thing this morning, and while they were cooking I went ahead and got myself ready for the day, and so now they are all done and I'm going to go ahead and show you guys what you do with all the veggies and how you finish the cheese sauce. Alright, so by the time I got out of the shower, my husband actually had already taken all of the veggies out for me, so I put them in a blender, and then you're just going to add all of the rest of your ingredients. There's some nutritional yeast, some miso, I added some garlic powder and some other things. Like I said, I'll leave the recipe down below. I don't remember the exact ingredients, but you just throw it all in a blender, blend it up for, I did it about 1 minute to 2 minutes. I can't really remember exactly how long I did it for, but you want it to be pretty well blended so that it turns into kind of a cheesy consistency and not like mashed potatoes. So yeah, this is a really good sauce to put on top of vegetables and stuff, so I like to make this ahead of time on the weekend, and then we can put this on our veggies throughout the week. For this next one, I'm going to go ahead and start by setting my oven to 375. We are going to make an oatmeal bake. This was really easy to do. I've never made one of these before, but again, I will link the recipe down below. But when I was done, I cut it up and put it in the fridge, and my kids actually tried it this morning and they really enjoyed it. We added a little bit of milk to their bowl, and they were all ready to go. So this would be a really good, easy breakfast if you have your kids, if they're going to school or if they're staying home, just a really easy, quick, nutritious breakfast for them. The recipe that I was following had like chocolate chips added to it. I went ahead and just left those out and just put fruit in it, but you could definitely add chocolate chips or whatever toppings you want. You could even add toppings in the morning. Sometimes my kids like to add like almonds and raisins and stuff to their oatmeal, and they could do the same thing with this as well. Once everything is combined, you're just going to go ahead and put it into a baking dish and put it in the oven for 15 minutes. I ended up doing mine for about 5 extra minutes, but it should be ready around 50 minutes. The next recipe we're going to do while the oatmeal is baking is make a cilantro jalapeno hummus. This is a super easy recipe. I just tried it for the first time last weekend and it was really good. I'm always buying hummus at the store. We use hummus all the time, so I'm really excited about this one. I just cut up some onion, jalapeno, and cilantro, threw it in a blender, and then I added a can of chickpeas, and then I added some tahini, garlic powder, and salt, and a little bit of cumin, but you could season it however you want. You can even add a little bit of lemon if you want, and then you're going to put some oil of your choice. I believe I used avocado oil for this one, but I think you could also use olive oil, whichever you prefer. Now that we've made the hummus, my oatmeal bake is about halfway done, so I decided to go ahead and start on the next recipe that's going to need to be baked in the oven, and that is egg cups. So for the egg cups, I just throw in whatever veggies I have, meat, you can put in cheese, seasonings, whatever you want really. So right now I'm actually just cutting up all my veggies. I figured if I was going to be cutting them up for the egg cups, I might as well just chop them all. So I'm cutting up some onion, bell peppers, I cut up jalapenos, and I ended up cutting up some carrots for the kids too, which I didn't record, but I had a bunch of whole carrots and the kids really like when I cut it up into sticks, so I went ahead and did that too. So I'm just going to go ahead and separate some of my veggies into a separate bowl for my egg cups, and the rest I'm just going to put in Tupperware that we can use for the rest of the week. Once I was done with all my veggies, I went ahead and finished up the egg cups. So I added in some turkey, as you guys just saw, and then I cracked 8 eggs into the bowl, added some salt and pepper, mixed it up, and then I'm just going to go ahead and put these in my muffin tins. And I love using these silicone muffin holders. They make it so much easier when you try to clean up the pan afterwards. And I also ended up using the pan multiple times throughout this meal prep video, so I would definitely recommend getting those. But I just popped them in the oven at 350 for 20-ish minutes. I ended up having to put them back in for a little bit longer, so I think they ended up being in there for about 25 minutes. Alright guys, we're about halfway through the meal prep, so I thought I would just go ahead and show you guys what I have so far. I should have showed you what time I started, but it was about 9 and it's now 10:45, so it's been almost 2 hours, and I will go and flip the camera around and show you everything that we've done so far. Okay, so we've got some carrots that I just cut up into sticks for the kids. We made the potato vegan cheese sauce. So that's been sitting in the fridge. I might actually take some of this and put it into a silicone mold and put some in the freezer, because the last time I made this, we didn't use it all in time. So if I freeze them, then I think I might be able to just microwave it with our veggies. We made the hummus. So that's looking really good. I tried this and it's really good. It tastes really fresh because of the cilantro. I chopped up some jalapenos. We've got some bell peppers and onions. And then our breakfast bake is done and out of the oven. It is just cooling off. So this is really, I'm excited for this. I've never tried it before, but I'm gonna cut it up so that they're already in ready to take pieces. And then you can just put it in your bowl and add milk in the morning, and you already have oatmeal. And then we've got our egg cups cooking in the oven. So that is everything that we have so far. All I have left to make is I'm gonna make some almond flour crackers. Those will be really easy to make, and pizza bites. So I'll probably make the pizza dough and the crackers at the same time, and then I'll throw the crackers in while I finish making the pizza rolls. And then I'm also gonna make some cereal bars and smoothie bags. So almost done, but I thought I would just go ahead and pop on here and show you guys in real time where we're at. All right, it's time for the next recipe, which is going to be almond flour crackers. This is another recipe that I've never tried before. It was super easy. I will have the recipe linked below. It was just almond flour, avocado oil, and egg, and some seasoning if I remember correctly. So a super easy recipe. It's actually a paleo biscuit recipe, but when I made the biscuits last time, they didn't get super big and fluffy, so I thought it might work out to make crackers, and they definitely turned out good, but they weren't really like a cracker consistency. They were more like little pieces of bread, but they were still really yummy. And you're just gonna mix everything up. I flattened it out as much as I could, popped it in the oven at 350 for 12 minutes. This next recipe you guys will see me struggle with. It's another one I've never tried before, and I had this idea to do some pizza rolls, but I was trying to use a pizza crust recipe I'd never used before, and it called for cassava flour, which I didn't have, and I thought I could just substitute it for almond flour, which was not the case. I did not get the right consistency, so as you can see, I really struggled with the dough breaking apart and sticking to the roller. So I ended up just taking it all, putting it back in the bowl. I added some coconut flour to kind of thicken it up a little bit. And then I used my muffin tin again to push the dough into the silicone molds and just kind of like wrapped it around the edges and left a little hole in the middle. And you'll see later on that I added the sauce and pepperoni and cheese inside of them. And so it kind of turned out like a pizza muffin, which they were really good still. So I might do this again, but I think I might use a different dough recipe next time. But yeah, they were still really yummy. They just didn't turn out like pizza rollers like I had originally planned. Just baking them at 425 for 11 minutes, and they were perfect by that time. Hey guys, gonna go ahead and give you another update. It is now 11:30. I just put the pizza in the oven. As you can see, I was struggling with the dough. I've never made this dough before. It was like a gluten-free recipe that I found, and I didn't have the right flour for it, so I tried substituting almond flour, and I think it made it just not the right consistency. I couldn't get it to stick together and roll out into pizza crust. So I improvised and put them in those silicone muffin tins that you guys saw, and hopefully it'll work out. I'm not sure, but I will let you guys know. But now I'm just gonna go ahead and clean up because that was my last recipe that I needed to use the oven for. All I have left is some cereal bars, and I'm going to prep some smoothie bags. So I'm going to clean everything up. I've got stuff all over right now. And then I'm gonna go ahead and work on the cereal bars and prep the smoothie bags, and then we will be done. One tip I have for you guys is that when you have little breaks like this, like I have to wait for the oven, do something that doesn't require any baking, like cutting up the veggies or cleaning up the kitchen. I've cleaned up the kitchen. I've just like picked it up and rinsed dishes off about 3 times so far throughout this process. I just kind of rinse as I go, and then I just stick them on my dryer sheet, so or drying towel. So that's one tip for you guys, to kind of cut down on cleaning. Instead of taking new dishes out every time you do a new recipe, just like quickly rinse out and wash the dish that you just used. I actually just used the same bowl that I used for the almond flour crackers to do the pizza stuff in, because it was basically the same ingredients. So if you have recipes like that and you can plan it out where you're doing them back to back, then you have way less dishes to do because you don't really have to clean them out every single time. So anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and pick up and get some stuff put away. I need to cut up the crackers, which I will show you guys in just a second. That's another thing I've never made before, and it's actually a biscuit recipe that I found, and I'm hoping, I just like rolled it out as thin as I could. I was hoping to roll it out thinner and then bake it until it got crispy. They are kind of a little soft like biscuits, so it didn't work out exactly how I thought it would, but I still think that they're gonna be yummy. So I'm just gonna cut those up into like bite-sized pieces, and I'm sure they'll still be good. We can throw them on salads or just eat them as snacks or whatever. So anyways, yeah, I'm gonna cut those up, and I will show you guys where we're at when I'm all done with that. Out of all the recipes that we made today, this one was the one I was most excited for, and it turned out so good. My kids love it, and so do me and my husband. So it's just peanut butter and honey. I put it on the stove to kind of thin it out and make it more of like a sauce. And then I took some Cheerios, poured the peanut butter honey mixture into the Cheerios, stirred them up, added some chocolate chips, stuck it in the freezer, waited for it to get hard, and then you can cut it up into cereal bars. I don't know if it's that I didn't leave the peanut butter on long enough, or if it was because of the peanut butter I was using. I was using a organic peanut butter from Costco that had like nothing in it but peanuts, and it was really thick, and so it didn't really get to like a thin consistency like I was hoping for, but it still worked out really well. It's just when I went to cut them, they didn't stick together completely, so it kind of crumbled, and for us it turned into more of like a granola. But it was still really yummy, a super easy snack, and like I said, we all really enjoyed this one. Alright, we have made it to the end of my meal prep for this week, and the last thing I'm doing is making some smoothie bags. I have been having smoothies a lot more recently. Now that we have started school again, I'm very busy with the kids throughout the day, and sometimes I don't get my lunch break the same time they do. And so it's just really easy to pop in a smoothie at some point throughout the day. So I am just putting anything that I would normally put in a smoothie. For me, this week I added bananas, spinach, cherries, and then I added some PB2 and my protein powder. I put everything that I would want in my smoothie minus the almond milk in these bags, and then I threw them in the freezer, so when I'm ready I can just pop it in the blender with some almond milk and they're ready to go. Alright guys, it is 1 and I am finally done with all of my meal prep. I did take a break for lunch, so I think that's pretty good on time. We've got the pizza. They turned into like pizza muffins because I couldn't get the rollers to work, but they actually look really good. So I went ahead and flash froze these. I'm gonna put them in a bag after I'm done filming this. But I got 12 of those. I got 12 egg cups. I also flash freezed these, so I'll throw those in a bag too. I've got 5 smoothie bags, so when I'm gonna put these in the freezer, and when I'm ready to use them, I'll just throw them in the blender with some almond milk and they'll be ready to go. We've got the oatmeal bake. So like I said before, I've already cut it. You can't really tell on camera, but they're already cut, and so the kids can just grab a piece and throw some milk on it, and they've got oatmeal in the morning. I also made the almond flour crackers. They didn't really turn out like a cracker consistency. They're more of like bread, but I think they'll be really good with hummus. We've got the potato vegan cheese, cilantro, jalapeno hummus. I cut up all the vegetables that I showed you guys before. So we've got carrots, bell peppers, onions, and jalapenos. And then the cereal bars, which I'm gonna throw back in the fridge for a little bit longer. They need to get a little bit harder before I cut them. And I will cut them and put them in little baggies for the kids to have as snacks. So that is everything that I meal prepped. I hope this gave you guys some ideas. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more. I will go ahead and leave a link for the recipes in the description box below for the ones that I had recipes for. If there's any that I missed, just let me know in the comments and I can let you know how I made them. I will see you guys in the next video.